It's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and welcome to another one of my complete before and after house flipping videos. So if you have not seen one of these before, I go through all the numbers. So not like the numbers you see on TV where they give you the repairs, the purchase price, and the selling price, but I go over carrying costs, utilities, insurance, taxes. I go over selling costs, commissions, title insurance, recording fees, financing costs, buying costs, and the repairs. So we show you all the numbers. I show you a before video of the property and then an after video as well. And on this particular property, we've got a during the repairs video too. We can show you kind of what it looks like in the middle of the repairs. And then I try and give some helpful tips along the way as well. So this property I bought from a wholesaler. It did not go extremely well with that wholesaler, and I'll talk about how that happened. We also had an unrecorded lien show up that was from before I bought the property that I had to fight with the title company on, and we're still fighting about that too. So I'm going to talk about that as well. And on top of all that, this was a hoarder house where it was just full of junk. There was an 8-foot long dead python that had been decomposing for a while, along with other unmentionables in this house. Basically, the tenants had let their animals live there for a month when they moved out. It was nasty, and we have videos of all of that. It's going to be a very interesting video, I think, and we'll get started right away, right now, with the before video and show you what it looks like when I first bought it. Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. I'm standing outside at Fix and Flip. I bought a couple months ago. We just finished the eviction on, and going to give you a walk through the property. This has been a crazy one. Found a dead snake. This was pretty much a hoarder house, and this is gonna be a lot of work. Probably not gonna make much money on this house, but we'll show it to you. I have a couple of different videos I've done over the last few days to show the eviction and everything that's gone on. So the video now is much nicer than what it looked like before, but just keep watching and I'll piece together some of the other shots we had from when we were doing the actual eviction. We bought this house from a wholesaler for $192,000. Probably not a good price to pay for it after considering everything. We've gotten, this is the fourth 30-yard roll-off dumpster we've gotten, so I can show you how much stuff has been in here. House is probably gonna be worth like $280 once we're done, and it'll need $30,000 in work, so we might make a little bit, but definitely would want more room for the amount of work it's taken and the pain it's taken. Has not been a fun property. We boarded up the windows because those were broken, could not secure them. We didn't want the tenants coming back in here. When I bought the house, it had tenants in it. They're supposed to be out. Bought it from a pretty big wholesaler, and they were not out, and they weren't much help in getting them out, so we had to go through the eviction. Took a couple months, cost money for the lawyers, the crew, all of that. On top of that, that wholesale company had like almost $2,000 in fees they charged me at closing that they didn't tell me about until closing, like an acquisition fee and a marketing fee. Like I'm supposed to be paying for their marketing fees and acquisition fees, but yeah, anyway. So this is one bedroom. They did have kids here at one time. I don't know, how long the people lived here, because for a while it was just their dogs living here, and they would come over and take care of them, and then the people weren't living here. But it was just disgusting. Wait till you see what this room looked like when we first got the house. And the bathroom looks 8,000 times better than it did before. Again, in here, this room looks amazing compared to what it did look like. Had to board up those windows too because they were broken. The kitchen, well, right here, this is weird. They removed the closet for that bedroom and opened up this space, so we'll have to put that closet back in. Dining room window, it's broken. I don't want to think about what I'm stepping on right now, but you can only imagine with dogs living here for a while. Kitchen, yeah, they'll need completely redone. Those are mouse droppings just all over the stove. Yep. The basement, I haven't been down here yet since they started cleaning it up. So It was almost impossible to get down here. There was so much stuff. Oh, it looks so much better. It does not smell a whole lot better, but it looks a lot better. Among other things that we found in this house was a giant snake cage in the living room, complete with a deceased and decaying large snake, and either a rat or a ferret also in that cage that was deceased and decaying. That smelled nicely. Tons of stuff everywhere. Yeah, like I said, they had dogs in here. We were gonna have to do the eviction and get animal control to come get the dogs, but the tenants, the last minute, came and picked them up, so we didn't have to do that, which was nice. Oh, smells nicely in here too. This was like 4 feet of laundry. I couldn't even walk in this room before. So they've made a lot of progress. Like I said, we'll have the video of what it looked like here in just a second. Bedroom. Like these rooms I couldn't even walk in, so I couldn't even see, you know, what this closet looked like, or that there was a window in the closet, which is kind of weird. And then we had the bathroom, which was horribly disgusting. Slightly better. So that is the inside. The garage, which is so much better now too. And backyard. Oh, haven't gotten to that trash pile yet. That's pretty much what the whole house looked like, but worse. So it's really nice. And one weird thing back here. Guess they're gonna build a pool? I don't know. That's about 3-4 feet deep. Pretty big. Yeah, so during the eviction, sorry, saw something in the yard moving. We have an hour to get all the stuff out, but luckily the police, since I had a text from the tenant saying they didn't want any of their stuff, said, or the sheriff said, we can just take out whatever we want. We have all the time in the world, because it would have taken a day to get this whole house clean with 20 people working. And we had 10 people working. We had a lot of people here, and they got like 3 rooms cleaned out and 2 dumpsters full in an hour. So it was crazy. All right, so that's what the house looks like now. We'll have after videos after we fix it up and get it listed. But for right now, keep watching, because I'll show you the video of the eviction, what it looked like beforehand, videos of the snake, and some other interesting stuff. Oh, standing outside one of my fix and flips. That's the sheriff who just left down there. We're going to do an eviction of the tenants, but they left 4 dogs here, so rescheduled it for tomorrow so animal control can come, and hopefully the dogs are out by then, but if not, animal control will take the dogs. And then we get to remove all the stuff and put it in the street or a dumpster and see how that goes. Yay. All right, so we're standing outside fix and flip property I bought a couple months ago. There were tenants in the property who were supposed to leave. They never did. We had to do an eviction. So the way the eviction works is you have to get all their stuff out in an hour. So we have a bunch of people here working. However, we did manage to text the tenant. She said she doesn't want anything but her cat. So we can just get as much stuff out as we can and don't have to worry about getting it all out in an hour. But I'll show you exactly what it looks like. It's very beautiful.
I was looking for buckets there. I don't see it. I'm sure everything I thought of. Can you use that box in there or no?
So, this is the living room. There were...
I got a tub. What's the value in this?
One bedroom. Smells really good in here. They had 4 dogs living in here basically for 6 weeks without... Oh, that's a mouse. don't know if you guys saw it. 4 dogs living here for 6 weeks. Without the people, they'd come feed them and take care of them, apparently. So we're supposed to do the eviction yesterday, and the dogs were still here. And the sheriff said, try one more time to call her. And they came and got the dogs yesterday. So luckily we didn't have to have animal control come and take the dogs. They're already gone. But apparently there might be a cat in here somewhere.
Thanks for the advice. I think so. Double check. I think the door. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that we can get shit out. You want to go out the door or do you want to go out the window? Well, I have to get the door off, so.
Show you the basement. That's the best part. And Nikki actually got this 100 contract while I was gone from a wholesaler, but it was not nearly this bad when she saw it. I mean, it's pretty bad. But, and they promised the people would be out, but of course they weren't. So we kind of expected this might happen, but as you can see, it is full of stuff. And she also said that the bathtub was full of turtles when she saw it, so they did grab their turtles too. Yep, and they had kids, so they were living in this house like this, with at least one kid that we saw. All right, I'll take a walk in the garage and the backyard. And of course, today it's supposed to be 102 degrees in Colorado. It was 100 when we started, so it's not going to be pleasant for everybody moving everything out. And I've gotten to a point in my career where I don't feel bad not helping, so I can document everything. Oh, that's interesting. A possible pool being started, who knows. So that's the house. 2 hours later, I left for a little while, came back. Like I said, we'd have to have everything out in an hour, which would have been impossible with the amount of stuff here. One dumpster's full. Had them bring another dumpster. It's full. There's still a ton of stuff left in here. And we found some nice surprises too. So I'll give you a quick run through.
With your walking.
For the most part, it's that one. You can come see it, but it doesn't.
I was gonna say you don't want to help me struggle with that or anything.
No, it's for the most part.
Yeah, brother, what's going on?
I know, right?
So most of the upstairs is done. The basement has not even hardly been touched. And the dogs were removed by the previous owners. However, if you look in that first video, there's a big snake cage in the living room. And the snake passed away, was not removed, and was decomposing in the bottom of that cage, along with either a ferret or a giant rat, which was also rotting in that cage. So who knows what all they'll find down here. All right, so I mentioned the snake had decomposed, and so you can skip ahead if you don't want to see this. It's not pretty, but you can kind of see on that part right there, that is part of the decomposing snake. And we had to go through an eviction. And if you look at the before video, which we'll post in the description, the eviction was not fun. The people had moved out, but they had left 3 dogs and a cat, as well as some dead animals too. So we did the eviction. They actually got the dogs and cats out of the house before the eviction, but they had been living in the home probably for at least a month or two on their own, just pooping and peeing everywhere. And then there was a snake cage in here that had a dead snake in it that had probably been there for months, and possibly a dead rat or ferret or something that was just mostly bones in that cage as well. So you can see all of that in the before video. It was crazy. And this house is just full of trash everywhere. Couldn't even walk in all the rooms. So far, we had to put this wall back in. They took that wall out for some reason. That's where all the closets were for the front room and the bedroom. They'd taken this wall out too. So we had to add that wall back in for the closet in this bedroom over here. So there's that closet, which they took out for some reason. They didn't like closets. You can see new windows, texture, cleaned everything out. The bathrooms were just disgusting. And as you can see, making progress on those. We just started on this house, what, 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. We had it sitting here for quite a while after we bought it because of the tenants who were in here, and then I just didn't have enough contractors to work on it. We have 16 flips going, so don't always have enough people to do every house right away. So you can see the closet in that bedroom too. The kitchen, which was horrible, disgusting, mouse droppings all over the counters, the stove. It was just crazy. So tearing all that out, getting a new kitchen from Home Depot, should be here soon. And we'll go downstairs. And for some reason, Home Depot dropped off all of our carpet pad for our bulk order at this house instead of our little storage shop. But things like that happen. All right, down here, if you look at the before video, I could walk about 3 feet into this basement without junk everywhere. I couldn't even go into this room. So just getting it all cleaned out made a huge difference. And then, of course, the smell is much better now. It smells like texture and construction instead of dead animals. Here. Hard to say what we're spending on this rehab. The contractor who was working on this property I actually hired as an hourly employee. He's done quite a few jobs for us, and we offered him, work for us full-time, hourly, and he wanted to do that. So it saves us money to do that instead of having them bid jobs. It's faster. We have more control. So, 30 to 35,000 is probably what we're going to spend on this. And then one thing that he brings with him, which is really nice, is he has a ton of subs for drywall, for paint, framing, who are really cheap. So really nice to have them. Now we can use them in all of our projects. Kind of weird they have a window in the closet, but they do. So have that going for us. Now, as you can see, lots of texture, drywall, some framing. Had to put in a new furnace. They said there's basically a mouse nest in the old furnace. New kitchen, new baths. That bathroom there was just nasty. It was really disgusting. If you want to see the before video, if not, I understand. And then I'll show you the backyard here too. As far as the value on this house, $280,000 range, I would think. Here's just the garage. Bunch of the doors that are waiting to go in. The backyard, if you see the before video, was full of just giant weeds. And then there was also a giant pit here. It was like 4 feet deep, 10 feet wide. I have no idea what that was for, so filled that in the back of the house. And we just finished another one of our flips that you may have seen. A lot of people asked about putting a patio door kind of where that window is into the dining room instead of just having the man door in the garage. And yes, ideally it would be awesome to have a patio door right there in your dining room, But this house and the other house were both brick, and to tear into that brick, to add that door, would be thousands of dollars, and it really would not add much value to the property. And again, it's just an example of, with these houses, with flipping, you gotta try so hard to save money. It's easy to spend money and do every repair. The tough part is saving money and not going over budget, because really the goal is to make money, not just to make houses beautiful. So that's the property. Head inside because it is about 10 degrees outside and windy and spitting snow. So not amazing. And the really cool thing was, when I first walked in the house expecting to warm up and get out of the cold, it wasn't as warm as it should have been. And I looked at the thermostat and it was at 47. So it's heating up a little now, but I don't know if our cleaners did that or the contractor. Somebody just switched the thermostat off. I'm guessing it's an accident, hopefully, but another good reason to make sure you're checking all your houses on a regular basis, especially if you're in a cold climate in the winter. Nothing can destroy a house faster than frozen pipes flooding everything. We've luckily not had that happen on any of our flips, but we have bought properties that's happened to, and I've had some REOs, some other properties that I had listed that had that happen to them. So this house, like I said, it was full of trash, animal feces, furniture, all kinds of junk. We bought it from a wholesaler. Partially my mistake. They claimed the tenants would be out and gone. We have possession of it, but that never happened. We had to go through an eviction. The tenants actually left, but they left their animals here. They had 3 dogs, a cat, and they came back to take care of them every couple days. But you can't just kick somebody out. If their animals are here, they still have possession of the property, so we had to go through the eviction. When we finally got that done, they came, got their animals, and left us a giant mess. Like I said, there's a huge snake cage in the living room with a dead, probably 6-foot snake in it who had been decomposing for quite a while. You can check out the before video to see all that fun stuff. And just mouse droppings, trash everywhere. So it was disgusting. We had a huge crew cleaning this out for a couple days. But yeah, redid the kitchen, obviously. This is all Home Depot. Cabinets, appliances, countertops. We redid the flooring, Home Depot laminate. Painted everything, new doors, new trim. And then in the before video too, you'll see, for some reason, they took out the closets in the bedrooms. So this wall was not there before. And that wall there was not there either. They took them out to make the dining room and living room bigger, but just had no closets in the bedroom. So we put the walls back, gave the bedrooms closets, as you can see. New windows as well, how to do that. New doors. This is one of the nastiest bedrooms because it had the kids' bunk beds in it and was just disgusting. You'd like to think they did not live in it when it was like that, but yeah, I have my doubts on that. We bought this for $192,000. This is one Nikki actually bought from a wholesaler while I was on vacation. It popped up, she came and saw it, had one other investor kind of bidding against her, and not sure if we should have paid that much for it, but it should still work out okay. All new bathroom, all that was redone. We probably spent $45,000 on it. I don't have the exact numbers yet. We have one of our hourly guys. We had a contractor who we've worked with for a couple of years at a number of jobs, and he's been doing great. So we offered him a full-time job, and he accepted it. So it's actually cheaper to use him now than it was before. we have him all the time, full time, and he knows he's guaranteed work. So it works out great for all of us, and that makes these rehabs so much cheaper. And then he has a lot of really good sub contacts as well for drywall, for paint, some other ones. So his subs painted, his subs did a lot of the drywall work, really makes things faster and cheaper. And you can see in the before video, this was open. We added this bedroom. So it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Now it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. And that looks kind of funky, but I'll tell you why. So that window was there when we first bought the house, and most of the windows were broken. Like not just cracked, but broken completely, no glass. So one of the first things we did was just replace all the windows. So we replaced the upstairs, downstairs windows, and then later we're like, oh, we should add a bedroom down here. We'll put an egress window in. So then we put the egress window in kind of after we'd replace those windows. You know, to be most efficient and save the most money, we would have put the egress window right there, but it doesn't really cost us anymore to have 2 windows. So extra light for that bedroom is what we're going with. All right, and here, you really should see the before video. I know I keep saying that, but I could not walk in that room. There was too much junk and trash. I could barely get into the bathroom, which was just disgusting. I could barely almost walk through that bedroom, just stuff everywhere. It was nasty. So here's this bathroom, again, completely redone. Shower, all that. Had to put in a very small pedestal sink just because the door is right there. So if we put in a regular size vanity and sink, there's almost no room to walk by it. So that's why we had that. We actually had a really small 9-inch deep sink, but it looked really funky and weird. So we took that out and put this one back instead. All right, here's this bedroom. This one was already here. It's grandfathered in, so you don't need the egress windows on that. And then this is you don't always see a window in your closet, but this one has it. So lots of windows in this basement. It's kind of nice. All right. Keep getting distracted. So yeah, like I said, we spent probably about $45,000 on the repairs. Probably have another $18,000 or so on carrying costs, financing costs, sewing costs. And then we don't have an exact price yet, but in the $285,000 range, I'm thinking. Our contractor still needs to get some of his stuff out. We also still need to clean up the landscaping some too. And it's our mistake as well. This house has no yard. I mean, it's just dirt. So we really should have seeded it or try to put some kind of sod down right when we first evicted the tenants. It's kind of just at that time period when you could barely get stuff done before winter came. But now, I mean, it's the middle of winter. We can't put down sod or grass or anything. It'll just die. So not sure exactly. We could spray paint it green, I guess. Hope for it to snow. This snow isn't going to amount to much. But, you know, a few things still need picked up. I don't know why the shovels and stuff are still back here. But not bad. Compared to what it looked like before, it's amazing. So that's the house. It is January 31st today. So even if it was ready to list, which it's not quite, I would probably still wait to list it just because we tend to have bad luck listing properties on or right before a holiday. So we'll wait till the middle of the week after New Year's, get it listed. Hopefully it sells quickly. Okay, so you can see what the property looked like after we finally got into it. It took us a couple months to actually do the eviction and get the tenants out. And the really annoying thing is it was supposed to be sent to us vacant when we bought it. And we drove by there before we bought it, and there was a U-Haul truck in the driveway, and the wholesale company promised it'd be vacant, and they never moved out. And what happened was basically the people moved to somewhere else, but they left all their dogs and their cat in the house for a month and went back and fed them. So it was absolutely disgusting, horrible condition, and the wholesale company didn't really do much to help us at all. And you kind of see my email here. I took out the contact information, but this is after closing. Said, they're still not out. U-Haul truck's still in the driveway, and they have not left. And their response to us was, just spoke to the acquisition agent on this one, and he said they should not be at the house anymore, so he suggested you change the locks. Unfortunately, that's all he gave me. So what they're suggesting I do would be illegal. You can't just go change the locks on somebody just because you buy a house. If they have not left, they have not given you permission, you have to go through an eviction. You can't just kick them out and change the locks. So another good point on this deal is just because someone tells you to do something doesn't mean you can or it's legal. If we would have gone in, changed the locks, we could have been arrested possibly for, trespassing, for going to the property, not giving them access to it where they lived, and sending them an email that says someone else told me to do it is not going to get you out of that trouble. So be very careful who you work with, who you listen to. Make sure that you're doing things the right way no matter what someone else tells you. Okay, so you got to see what the house looked like, how we bought it, some of the problems we had. We had other problems too with fees and different things being charged by the wholesaler. So that's what I'm going to show you right now with some of the settlement sheets and those fees that we didn't know were getting charged for that we had to work through. Looking at right here is the second page of the settlement sheet I get when I buy a flip. So they list all the charges. The first one has some of my lender information, purchase price, that stuff. And then on here, they have some of the settlement fees. So we have settlement to Tiago title, tax certificate, owner's title insurance, admin fee to New Western Acquisition. So that was a fee in their contract for what? We don't know, but they charge it. Then we had some more recording fees. Down here, reimbursement for front side closing costs. So they sent this to me with no explanation of what this was. And I had to ask about it, and then they kind of sent me some of the information. But it's interesting how we can see, after talking to them, we got that down a little bit, and we get it down a little bit more after some talking. But I'll show you kind of what they're trying to charge me. So I got the email with the settlement statement, and then I asked, what is this front side closing costs? And they said the reimbursement is listed in the addendum number 1 to the contract. It is on page 5, 7-page addendum for this deal, which you try and read through and you try and look at everything, but you don't always know what all those mean. You kind of trust the seller on some of these things. You have a 20-page real estate contract, and you can't read through everything all the time, and that's why relationships are so important. But when they don't tell you about any of these costs or any of these costs are coming up until closing, that erodes that trust very quickly. And this is what they're talking about. Closing cost reimbursement. Buyer agrees to reimburse actual closing costs incurred by seller for the purchase of the property from the owner of record. Buyer also agrees to pay all closing costs associated with the purchase from the seller. So they're basically saying I'm paying all the closing costs. So title insurance, some of the other fees, which can be common on a wholesale deal. You often pay for the title insurance, whereas in a regular deal, the seller would pay for it. And that's not a big deal. I'm used to that, but then we'll show you what else was in here. So here's the reimbursement breakdown they gave me. Settlement fees. So I'm already paying settlement fees for my closing, which was $300 some, and I'm also paying $525 more for a previous one. Not sure why that went up so much. Owner's insurance, that's title insurance, $1,253. Kind of high, but I'm okay paying that. Then all of a sudden we have a New West acquisition fee. No idea what this is. No clue. New West funding fee. No idea what these are. They're just, basically they tried to sneak them in there and pretty much hope I didn't ask about them. And when I did ask them about them, like, oh yeah, we charge those in every deal. We told you about them. I'm like, no, you never did tell me about them. I was like, oh, sorry, we should have told you about them. And then they were willing to negotiate a little bit on these fees. And that's how we got all of this down a little bit, which I'll show you now. So after some discussions, here's kind of what we came up with. We managed to get the reimbursement fees down $500 or so, a little more. And they actually took $2,000 and some off of the purchase price to make up for not disclosing these fees to me, which they should have done, and also because the property wasn't delivered vacant like it was supposed to be. So obviously would have liked to have a much larger discount because it cost me much more money than that to do the eviction and everything. But at least they gave me something. So you can kind of see here. Here's the number before was $202,593. This total is kind of deceiving because I got the type of loan I had. I got money back at closing, so that's why this number is so big. But this is basically the bottom line after all the costs and everything. $202,593. And then after negotiating with them, we got down to right about $200. So that's much better, but still, leaves a bad taste in your mouth when these things aren't disclosed. You don't know what's going up front. And I had to ask about these costs and what was going on. They didn't tell me. So I could have just gone in blind, not knowing what all this was, which many people could do, and overpaid a lot of fees that other wholesalers don't charge, other sellers don't charge, and that shouldn't have been charged on this one. And this number is also high too because it includes some of my loan costs. So that's why it's so much higher than the actual purchase price. So lesson here, have someone who knows how to review these settlement sheets. Look at them. Always review your contract. Always review the addendums. And if you're a seller, you're a wholesaler, be upfront with the costs. I mean, this really made me not want to do business with them because of the way it was handled, because they're kind of trying to sneak these fees in. And there were so many extra fees that other companies don't charge. Okay, you can see what the house looks like after we finished it. We put it on the market, we listed it, we got a contract right away, and the title company does the title work to make sure the house is free and clear of all liens. And a lien showed up from before we bought it from the city of Greeley. And it was kind of a sanitation lien, assessment to clean up the yard because the house was in such bad shape. The city actually came in, cleaned up some of the yard, and the title company we bought it from, Tiago Title, never found that lien when they sold it to us. So we paid for the title insurance, as you saw. We paid them for all the closing fees, and we told them about this lien they missed, and their response was basically, well, that wasn't recorded when we closed, so it's not our problem. But they said if we moved our closing from my current title company that I use all the time to Tiago, they would try and fix it for us. So I asked them to email me, tell me what they would do, and they said, well, we'll hold this sanitation assessment lien, which was $5,000, in escrow, and we'll try and get the seller to pay it. And I asked them probably 7 times in an email, what happens if you can't get the seller to pay it? The seller's out of state, or if they don't have money, it's not a guarantee the seller's just going to pay this lien. And they wouldn't answer me. Flat out would not respond to that question that I asked specifically, directly in 7 emails, just wouldn't respond to me. So what I did, being the person that I sometimes can be, is I went to a local investor group on Facebook, posted my experience with Tiago, told people to watch out for him because they missed a lien that they should have caught. It was an unrecorded lien, but I've talked to 4 local title companies in Greeley. They all said it is common practice to call the city of Greeley because these unrecorded liens happen all the time. It can take them months to record the liens. You have to call the city of Greeley. I even have an email from the city of Greeley saying, yes, it is common practice for title companies to call us because these liens aren't recorded right away. In fact, another title company had called us and we gave them the information on that lien before you bought it. So the seller must have had a deal to sell it to somebody else who fell through. But another title company had actually called the city, gotten this payoff to pay the lien. Tiago Title does not work in Greeley, they're in Denver. Did not know to do that. Still said it's not their problem, not their fault. It was unrecorded. And after I posted this in the Facebook group, and Tiago would not help me, they went crazy posting stuff saying I was blackmailing them on Facebook. I have screenshots, a lot of the different stuff. The owner of the company emailed me saying he's not going to help me unless I take my post down and apologize to him in an email. Crazy. So I have all this stuff going on between them. I kept asking them over and over again, they're going to help. And they said, nope, not unless I take my post down and apologize. So they basically said they're not even going to try to contact a seller or get the lien taken care of. So that was $5,000 extra I had to pay at closing, but I'm in the process of filing a claim with North American Title, who's the underwriter for Tiago, and they are working on seeing if they can pay us back for that because Tiago missed it. And then they also, I think, are filing a complaint against Tiago for the way they handled everything and their emails and all that crazy stuff on Facebook they posted. Their vice president said, I was blackmailing them and refused to respond to phone calls from months ago to clear up this issue, which were clearly lies because the issue didn't even come up for 2 weeks before that was posted on Facebook. So I don't know what they're talking about, but I have all that stuff. It's crazy, and I might show some of that now. But man, you pay for title insurance to take care of issues like this, to fix things, and then it really shows, the quality of people you work with is very important, not always what you're paying for the contracts, because they basically said, it's not our fault, we're not going to do anything. And the wholesaler had the same attitude. So when I posted that, they texted me, hey, how can we fix this? Tell us what we can do to fix it. And I told them the story, like, oh yeah, that's not our fault. Not, it was unrecorded, so there's not much we can do. So again, you buy a house from a title company with title insurance, you kind of expect there not to be a $5,000 lien from the city, not like an unrecorded mechanics lien, but a city lien that you end up paying yourself later on down the road, plus all the other crazy fees that we had to pay at closing that we didn't really know about that got reduced to a point, but still, there's still a lot of stuff there that we didn't know we had to pay. Really, reasons why you do business with certain people and not do business with other people. All right, so now we'll take a look at the numbers and see how this one turned out. Was not amazing, but we got through it. Okay, so here's one post I'm going to show from Facebook and the title company. This person is the vice president of Tiago Title. Though they never disclosed this, and they actually commented on one of the original posts saying how great Tiago was, how they use them for all their investor clients, how amazing they've been over the years. And they never mentioned that they're actually the vice president of Tiago, but if you go to their Facebook profile, it very clearly says vice president. But anyway, that's another story. So here's what they say. This is on my Facebook page, by the way. They came to my page on one of my posts and said this. The fact is, the owner of the title company called you multiple times through many months to help you when it was not their responsibility to do so, and still wanted to help you, but you avoided his calls and decided to go on social media and do some cyberbullying, make them pay you $5,000, and blackmail them. Let's get all the facts out there. So a number of things I talked about that were wrong with this. This issue came up 2 weeks ago. So there's no way he could have been calling me months ago because it didn't come up until 2 weeks ago. Have emails to prove all that. He never did call me. If he did, he never left a message, never talked to him on the phone. So that's also false. And then the other issue is not their responsibility. They're a title company who provided title insurance on a house, and not a regular lien, a city lien showed up. So apparently all they do is pretty much look up public records, and that's what their title insurance covers, according to them, which is not very comforting when you think about all the things that can pop up on a deal. Really makes you wonder if this is how title insurance works, why any of us are actually paying for it. But anyway, that's another story too. So, accuse me of cyberbullying, makes him pay $5,000, and blackmail, all online on my page from the vice president of the title company. So, just kind of shows some of the things that were going on publicly, let alone the things they're saying in my emails to me as well about the situation. All right, we'll get down to the numbers now on exactly what we made, what all the expenses were on this one. Had a lot of unexpected expenses. We still made a little bit of money, but not a whole lot. But we definitely improved the community, if that makes anybody feel better, which it was definitely, the neighbors were very happy that we fixed this house. So, purchase price, $192. Repairs, $35,000. Selling price, $285. We made $58,000. No, I was trying to do a television show right there. So if you're wondering, this is not what we made on the house. We'll go through the real numbers here. Buying costs. So all those closing costs from the title company, title insurance, wholesale fees were like $3,500. So that's something to consider when you're buying from wholesalers. Some wholesalers are better than others. If I'm buying from the MLS, that's $3,500. I would not be paying. The seller would be paying title insurance. There wouldn't be all those other extra fees. I would have some closing costs, maybe $500, not $3,500. And then if I'm buying from the MLS, I'm also an agent, so I would be getting a commission back as well. So buying from a wholesaler actually cost me like $10,000 more than buying from the MLS for the same priced house because I don't get a commission, because there's all these other costs added. So that's something you really have to consider when you're getting deals from wholesalers. The eviction cost, that's just kind of the attorney fees to do it. Again, costs we should not have had to pay, but things like that pop up. Financing costs. This loan was from a private lender who did 100% of the purchase price plus the repairs. So our total loan amount was $222,000. It didn't quite cover all the repairs, but just our estimate. And I always do that just a little low. I'm fine paying a little bit of extra cash for the repairs. But the origination fee, which is 2%, was $4,400. Interest was right about $15,000 for 9% for 9 months on the $222,000 that we had going on to it. So a lot of financing costs. Like I said, that's because we borrowed more money than the house actually cost. Carrying costs. So these are costs that are often forgotten about. Property taxes, we have to pay those while we own the property. $1,035 a year for tax on that property for 9 months is about that. Have to have homeowners insurance, hazard insurance while we own the property. Maintenance, mowing the lawn, doing snow removal, other stuff like that. Utilities, that can add up quick. You're paying for water, you're paying for gas, you're paying for electric the whole time you own that property. So the longer you own a house, the more those utilities will be. That's our total right there for carrying costs. Repairs were more for this as well because of the trash out mostly, and it was just having dogs live there for a month with, doing their thing on the floors is not help either. But had to do the roof, a new furnace, quite a bit of drywall and framing, adding the closets, redoing drywall in a lot of the house. The trash out is an expensive trash out. I think we took 6 dumpsters out of there, something crazy. Paint, we have amazing cheap painters. Flooring, the kitchen, baths, fixtures like light fixtures, things like that. Windows, doors. So our total was over $40,000 repairs on that property. And these are kind of estimates because we have our hourly guy doing most of this stuff. And so we don't know the exact cost for what each of these items are, but kind of apply a number to it that should be close to what it is, including materials and labor. All right, selling costs, we have to pay a commission to another agent when we sell it. So that's that number. Title insurance, which we have to pay for when we sell it. Now, if we use the same title company when we buy it as when we sell it, we save on this. We can do a hold open policy. They only charge us like $100 extra to do new title insurance. However, if the title insurance is someone that I don't know, I haven't used before, I still pay this extra money because I like my title company. I know they won't mess things up, which obviously you can see happens with other title companies. Closing fees that we paid, recording fees, the closing fee, and I had to pay buyer closing costs on this one. So we actually listed it for $279,900, sold for $285,000, but the buyers asked us to pay $5,000 in closing costs back to them. So that's what that is. The unpaid lien to the city, $5,000. We might eventually get that back. Who knows? We'll see. So that could be coming back to us, but I included it as a cost for now. So that's the total for all those selling costs. And the real profit, what we come to, what we actually made. Like I said, sold it for $285,000, $20,000 in some for selling costs, over $41,000 for repairs, carrying costs, financing costs, the buying costs, which were higher than normal. After the purchase price is divided, we made like $4,000. Big yuck right there, because we shoot for $30,000. And if this property had been delivered to us kind of as was promised, without the lien, without the extra costs, without all the extra repairs, we might not have made 30, but we would have been pretty close to it. But it just shows a lot can go wrong with properties, and having to wait 2 months to get possession of it and start work was another huge cost of financing costs, carrying costs, taxes, insurance. All of that adds up for every month you own the property, and that cuts into your profit as well. So that's the deal. Not our best one, but we got through it, got it done, made some good videos, made for some interesting experiences, watching the eviction go on when it's 104 degrees outside. Another time we came to the house when it was listed, and the heat was off, and it was like 40 degrees in the house, and luckily we caught it, and nothing froze, but Always things going on with these flips. So thanks for watching. Tell us what you think. Leave comments. Give us a thumbs up if you like these videos. Be sure to check out investformore.com. Have a lot of great articles on flipping. A massive article on how to flip houses, which is like almost 10,000 words. And then have my book, Fix and Flip Your Way to Financial Freedom as well, which goes over everything we do to flip houses. Check that out on Amazon. And, of course, hopefully you subscribe, and we'll see you coming back for more. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.